All right, here we go, folks. NFC West. I am Mr. Josh W. You're listening to the Mr. Josh Podcast. It's a football special, and I'm breaking each division down. So every video for the AFC, NFC, each division, and I'm going over their records and why they'll have that record. And I think I'm gonna be pretty accurate. And so I want you to see that, and then I'll be going over picks. We're going to have all sorts of stuff, fantasy stuff. I'm a little late to this, do a lot, but I'm going to get it on board here with fantasy stuff as well. And a lot of opinion stuff, you know what I mean? I don't need to crunch the numbers too hard with you. Clear that off there. And but I can tell you what, we'll have a lot of fun, and I think it's going to be informative as well. Hopefully I get some feedback. You don't have to be some sort of old man expert to know football. Where some of them lie to you about their percentages and all this shit. There's no lying here. I'm going to just show you right off the bat. So let's go over the lineups, or the depth charts rather, for the NFC West. So we got the Rams starting off here. Jared Goff. They pick up Blake Bortles as the backup. They like Malcolm Brown behind Todd Gurley. We'll see how Todd Gurley's leg situation holds up with what he's got going on in his arthritic condition. Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, loaded at receiver. Good tight end situation. They like Higbee. And so the Rams will be loaded again. There's no reason to think that the Rams will not have another successful year. And I have them personally finishing in first. Who's going to challenge them? Well, maybe the Seahawks. I don't think they will, but I think they're going to be a surprise. I'm not going to lie. I was very surprised on how Cincinnati took them to the brink. But they did win, and I had them winning as well, and we'll go over that. So, again, a lot of the same people on this team. Russell Wilson, Geno Smith, the backup. Carson, not so big on Penny anymore. Procease and Homer, same running backs. They draft DK Metcalf, who they're high on. But there is no more Curse, and there is no Doug Baldwin. Was he there last year? I think Baldwin was already gone. But they do still have Tyler Lockett. Ed Dixon hurt, so little thin at tight end. But Seattle is definitely about the defense and the running game. Statistically, the best running game in football last year, yard-wise. And then we have San Francisco in this division as well. Jimmy Garoppolo, terrible preseason. As we know, they're holding on to three quarterbacks. Tevin Coleman wound up hurting himself. Matt Breida. This is a banged up situation. Two of these guys hurt already. Dante Pettis, Marquise Goodwin, Deebo Samuel, not bad, very young, not bad. George Kittle being probably the best of what they have out there receiving the ball. And then the final team in this NFC West is Arizona. Kyler Murray, as you know, the number one pick. David Johnson, same situation there. Larry Fitzgerald. Michael Crabtree now comes to this team. Keyshawn Johnson, I believe, is a rookie. They like Christian Kirk. Charles Clay at tight end. He's the old fella from the Dolphins and Buffalo, and he's bounced around. And so I don't know what people think that much about Arizona. They did make an amazing comeback to tie the game. Should have won the game as well. So now that we have gone over these lineups and the depth charts of where things stand, let's go figure out what these teams' records are going to be. Let's start off with the Rams. Okay. So the Rams. Okay. I think everybody had the Rams beating Carolina in that game, as they did. Carolina gave it a run, but I think we all thought that would be a win. Versus New Orleans at home, we're going to give them the win there. At Cleveland, I'm going to give them that win. Tampa Bay, I'm going to give them that win. At Seattle, I'm going to make that a 50-50. San Francisco's a win. This is not a hard schedule right now, is it? I mean, New Orleans is, and then Seattle, I mean, is the only teams that they have to worry about right now before this bye. This is a cupcake. Look at these three before the bye. Oh my God, the Rams have it really easy. All right, so we had, again, Carolina, we had that as a win. New Orleans, we had that as a win because it's a home game. I think I made that 50-50, I'm sorry. Cleveland, win. Tampa Bay, win. That's 3. At Seattle, I think that we made that a 50-50. San Francisco, win. And these are all 3 wins at Atlanta. So in 8, I already have them with 6 wins, maybe 2 on the fence. I'm going to just say at Pittsburgh is a loss. There's not a lot of losses here looking like. Chicago at home is a 50-50, I'll say. And it might not be. They got Baltimore at home. That's a 50-50. At Arizona is a win. Seattle home game should be a win. At Dallas, I'm going to give that a loss just to be fair here. We got to give this team some losses. San Francisco, I think they win that. And then at Arizona, I mean, I have this team 11-2 with 4 toss-ups, which I think that means I did something wrong here. It should be 3 toss-ups. And those 3 toss-ups, I'm going to say we're going to give them 2 to the Rams. Listen, there's no reason that the Rams legitimately might not go 12-3 this year and have perhaps the best. I'm sorry, 12-4. What the hell am I doing here? 11-2. So what do we have with the 4? Yeah, that's so with 3. So if we give them 2, that'd be 12. I'm really messing up my math here. It's the first one I fucked up on, isn't it? So that's 11-2 and that's 13 games with 3. So yeah, so that would be giving them 2 would be 13. I'm sorry, at 13-3. Okay, that's where I messed it up. 13-3. We have the Rams going. Let's take a look at the Seahawks. So we got the Seahawks schedule here. So everybody had the Seahawks winning versus Cincinnati. Very, very tight game. Way tighter than it should have been. Cincinnati impressed some people. They still have an offense. No AJ Green. Imagine that. Lot of points. A lot of yards put up. Not a lot of points considering. So I would have picked them to win that game. At Pittsburgh, I'm going to give that a loss. I don't think they will win that. New Orleans, I'm going to give that a loss. At Arizona, that's a win. At the Rams at home, I'm going to give that a loss. At Cleveland, I'm going to give them a win there. How about that? And that should be a 50-50. Baltimore at home, I'm going to make that a 50-50. At Atlanta, I'll give them that win. Tampa Bay, I'm going to give them that win. At San Francisco, I'll give them that win. At Philly, loss. The Minnesota game here, I'm going to give that a loss. And then Rams road game, loss. Carolina road game, loss. Arizona home. And San Francisco home. So we have them at 8-7 with 1 toss-up game. So let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's say they win that toss-up. That's going to make them 9-7, Seattle. 9-7 if you go through these. All right. Let's look at San Francisco. All right. I would have predicted they lose this game, so I would have marked that as a loss. San Francisco at Cincinnati. I'm going to say that's a loss. Even even they won here, but I'm trying to be honest. Home game versus Pittsburgh, I think that's a loss. Home games versus Cleveland, I'm going to give them a win there. Rams, I give a loss. At Washington, I'm going to say it's 50-50. Carolina home, I'll give them a split. They shouldn't even get a split. I think Carolina there that's a loss. I'm sorry. At Arizona, I give that a loss. Seattle loss. I'll give them this Arizona home game as a win. Green Bay, I give as a loss. At Baltimore's a loss. At New Orleans, here's a nice stretch. Green Bay, Baltimore, New Orleans for this team. Isn't that nice? That'll bury your season. And then Atlanta at home, I'm going to give them that game as a win. The Rams, again, is another loss. And at Seattle is another loss. Oh, my God. Listen, this Tampa game, they shouldn't even get excited. This is as good as it's going to get for this team. They get to play, they get a bye in week 4, which again doesn't help anybody. 3 games and a bye, that's a fuck over. But Pittsburgh, look at that. I have them before the Splitsky. I have them with 3 and 12. We may have to go 4 and 12 on this team. So San Francisco, I'm going to give them that gimme. So as you see, we've got San Francisco pretty much at 4 and 12. Let's see who's going to finish in last. And let's see if Arizona is going to be worse than 4 and 12. They might be. They might be. Okay. So I would have had this as a loss. This was a tie. I would have had them losing to Detroit. Yeah, this is going to be brutal. Wow, look at this. They have 11 games before their bye. I mean, look at the NFL, how that fucking works. Some teams have 3 games and then a bye. And then this team has 11 games. Yeah. At Baltimore, loss. Carolina, loss. Seattle, loss. At Cincinnati, I'm gonna give them a maybe there. Atlanta at home, I'm gonna give them that win. Why not? They get 1 win. At Giants, I think that's a maybe. At New Orleans, loss. San Francisco home, I'm gonna give them that win. At Tampa, 50-50 because it's a road game. At Frisco, I'm going to call that a loss because I'll say they split with them. Rams, loss. Pittsburgh, loss. Cleveland at home, 50-50 that. At Seattle, at Rams, loss. That's 10. I have them at 2 and 10 with 4 gimmies. So if we split those gimmies, that's 4 and 12. And that is the same record as the shitty 49ers. It is one of the worst divisions. So we have Rams 13 and 3, Seahawks 9 and 7, 49ers 4 and 12, Cardinals 4 and 12. Let's go look at what they were last year and how close. What do you know? Rams 13 and 3. What do you know? Seahawks 10 and 6. I have them at 9 and 7. What do you know? It's not that hard. Frisco 4 and 12. What did I have them at? 4 and 12. What do you know? I mean, are you fucking getting it, people? And then Cardinals 3 and 13. I have them at 4 and 12. They pick up a game. Whoop-de-doo. NFC South. NFC West. We're getting a little lag on that. Getting a little lag. So, folks, that wraps up the final division, NFC West. It wraps it up. That's my division for division. You just saw me pick these games very simply. Don't need to go into depth. I may not be accurate on all of them. Some of them might be here and there. But look at how accurate the records were. Look how accurate the records were. How close. Pretty close, don't you think? I'm going to go in my next video. I'm going to do the a playoff preview. So we're going to kill this here, and then we'll do who I think goes to the playoffs and to the Super Bowl in our next video. And we'll kill this one right here. Subscribe. Hit that on YouTube. Subscribe. Hit the bell. Hit the button. Thumbs up. All that good stuff. I need you to interact, engage, so it helps this channel. my podcast as well, TheMisterJoshPodcast.com. You can get it there. You get it on iTunes, all that good stuff. I'm Mr. Josh W. Talking football with ya.